Hello and welcome, dear viewers, to your show around Kuwait. This is usual in our show. We're sharing with you a variety of segments and different topics. That's why in show every day with this newly episode, we're sharing with you about the latest event and the occasions happening in our lovely country, state of Kuwait, and even also our working crew traveling everywhere to show with us a great events. And sometimes we have a distinguished guest who are gonna join us here, and we'll talk about different perspective and their hobbies and even more. And before we start, I would like to greet our working crew and also my colleague Sarah. Hello, Sarah. And today we have a different topic.
We have different topics. So hello Aziz, and hello to you dear viewers and everyone who's watching us through KTV2. Welcome to a new episode of Around Kuwait. And as my co-host Abdul Aziz said, we have variety of, let's say, segments, reports, and let's say informative topics to discuss about. So please keep watching us till the end of the episode. So Aziz, our first topic is really, let's say, interesting, about a storytelling for children. We know it's called a personage from my country. It's like telling the children about some, let's say, person about the Kuwait heritage country.
And also we spoke about the Kuwaiti pioneers, because usually in the state of Kuwait we're not forgetting about the people who are doing, because our past, it's the way for our present.
Yes.
And even for the future, because we always like to commemorate about the people who are working so much hard for the sake for the country. That's why in the Kuwait International Fair, we like to thank the people already sharing the storytelling to the attendees, to talk more about the Kuwaiti pioneers and to share with them about how they struggle during the days.
Exactly, Aziz, really interesting topic. And our second topic about the crafting creativity. Paper craft workshop by the National Council for Culture.
I know you are a very big fan of the art, so I know you like to see portrait art, but now we'll talk about the handicrafts.
Yes.
And do you know that handicraft is the most and the oldest occupation in the world?
Yes, exactly.
When you do something with your hands, especially any kind of material, you create something new. That's why the National Council for Culture and Literature and Art, they're creating and they're encouraging the Kuwaiti artists and the artists to creating their solo exhibition and to see their artwork also.
To see their artwork and encourage them to stay away from technology and do some craftsmanship. So for our third topic about the understanding childhood trauma by Dr. Abdullah Al-Khamfar, the insightful lectures, really interesting.
Children's trauma, it's important. You know why? Sometimes even we are old and we are adult, sometimes we are afraid of something, or maybe we are avoiding something. It comes because our childhood trauma, maybe we don't understand.
Exactly.
You see people, they don't like maybe high kind of music, high volume. The other one like low kind of music. Some people afraid of the dark, some people afraid of the heights. It's considered from your childhood trauma.
We're gonna discuss about that too much, Abdul Aziz, later on. So dear viewers, how about to watch the first report together, and we'll be right back to you.
During the annual book fair at Kuwait International Fairground, the National Council for Culture, Arts and Letters orchestrated a captivating event. This particular occasion, a storytelling event named A Personage from My Country, became the focal point of the fair, drawing children of various ages and backgrounds. Dan Al-Khabbaz, a charismatic storyteller with a passion for preserving Kuwait's rich cultural heritage, took center stage. Her eyes sparkled with enthusiasm as she began weaving tales of a remarkable personage from Kuwait, taking the eager audience on a journey through time and tradition. The atmosphere was filled with excitement as children from different corners of the fairground gathered around Dana. The event was not a mere monologue, it was an interactive experience where the young attendees were encouraged to participate actively. Dana skillfully engaged them, asking questions that sparked their curiosity and ignited their imagination. As the stories unfolded, children of all ages found themselves drawn into the narrative, transported to a world where the history and values of Kuwait came alive. Dana's animated storytelling painted vivid pictures, creating a sense of connection between the past and the present.
I was passing by here in the book fair, and actually it was so nice that I saw this event happening. I brought my kids in and they enjoyed a lot because it was all about drawing and having those kind 3D of painting, which is nice. And I saw the cinema part Everything looks here like minimized, but it's really nice. I'm so happy that this is happening in Kuwait right now. We all as moms would love to see this every time we pass in, especially when it comes to book fair, because for us it's very important that kids getting out from iPads and using all the computers all nowadays and gaming. So it's nice, the kids are really happy.
The storytelling session had not only entertained but had also instilled a sense of pride and appreciation for Kuwait's cultural heritage in the young minds present. The echoes of laughter and the vibrant discussions among the children lingered in the air, creating a lasting impact that transcended the confines of the fairground.
We are like to thank the working crew for preparing such an amazing report about the Kuwait International Fair, especially for we call it the storytelling for the personage of our lovely country, state of Kuwait. So that time the storyteller was Dana Al-Khabbaz.
Yes.
So Dana Khabbaz, especially in the morning time, she gathered all the students, all the children, especially in the morning time. You know, because in the morning time, that time, school are attending.
Yes.
And people are attending. That's why we like to thank her for amazing efforts to share to the audience, that parents and the instructors and the people coming, and even the children, about the best from my country.
Yes, exactly. And you know, Aziz, we thank the Kuwait International Fairground because it really hosted too many schools this year. I went like twice this year in the Kuwait International Fair House, and I can see fairgrounds. And I noticed too many buses, too many school buses from, let's say, KG1 until the high school. Too many people there. So Aziz, about this storytelling about Dana Al-Khabbaz, she's been talking and telling a story for all the children about the, let's say, the personage from my country. She's trying to teach them, let's say, a person or a personality from the heritage Kuwait style, because we know, Aziz, the children, they are the future generation, and we need actually to teach them about the Kuwait heritage, about the tradition of Kuwait. So this is really great that Dana actually she tried to approach and encourage active participation actually with young attendees. That's really amazing.
When we talk more about the culture heritage, you know, it's a good thing when we share and to teach and to aware the new generation, the next generation, the young generation about our past.
Yes.
And she spoke about like in a lovely excitement, like, you know, like when you've been a storyteller, you have to gather all the children together and you like interacting with them with the style. Like, do you know this one? Do you want to do this one? Do you know like this thing happening in Kuwait? So the technique and the style to engaging all the audience with her, give them a question and answering, and they're raising their hands and interacting with each other, just to make the children knows about our culture and our heritage, because our heritage, our culture are very precious.
Yes.
In the seaside and even in the desert side, you will show them like our ancestors, they are struggling too much. It's the life, it was not easy that time. They want to share with them about the importance to be like a leader, the importance of the teamwork, to accepting the others,
yes.
Everything happening for a reason. So the children now, they aware them, like Kuwaiti before, not like now, everything with the social media, with the new technology, easier than latest before. There is no technology is less. People preparing with themselves, they have to be independent, you have to be a strong mindset, you have to help each other, support each other. This is we call the core values. She is teaching them the core values of our ancestors.
It's really a rich literature, let's say, and lecture she actually gave. Dana actually Al-Khabbaz gave to all the children. There were, let's say, from various concerns, they were like all around her, and they were actually interacting with her actually while she is telling the story. Same as what you said, Abdulaziz, is really important to teach our young children the values and the good manners of the old Kuwaiti people, and to teach them how the old people really struggled for living their lives. Not same as these days, the technology, and we are living
AI.
Yes, exactly. So they have to teach them how to appreciate the blessings all around them, how to be strong people in the future, how to make them independent by themselves. This is the aim of the storytelling of the personage from my country.
And even in addition, you and me, we've been to be like, you've been in this kind of, like you say, classes, and with us, like our teachers to be in the KGs especially, they were our storytellers.
Yes.
So that time when they are teaching us, they're interacting with us all the time, make us feeling happy, how to interacting with them, to know about our culture. Do you remember one of your moments before when you were kids and one of your KGs or instructor teacher maybe share with you some story things?
Well, I remember back in my school, in my childhood, my teacher actually, especially the teacher of, let's say, the Islamic, subject and so on, and Arabic subject, they try to teach us the values and the manners of the old Kuwaiti people. And they they told us too many stories about the people when they dive into, let's say, to search for the birds back then, and how the women actually take care of their children like 6 months away from their husbands, away from the men in their houses. They try to raise up the children until they became, let's say, 14 or 15 years old, and then they became men and women actually, and they get married and then go to search for the birds, and so on. The circles actually move on.
The complete cycle, the circulation coming, yes.
Exactly.
And the most important, the children always full with imagination and always asking too many questions.
Yes.
So I'd like to thank Dana for answering and responding to this question to answer their imagination, because maybe he's young, so he's giving like too many like simple or different questions, like what happening during that day, what is the name of this thing, what is the name of this instrument, what happening that time, how was they are living before, what about their houses, how they are eating, they have a refrigerator before, some simple question.
Yes.
And she's already responding all the time, Dana Al-Khabbaz, about something about our culture, how they are being with each other, how they are working each other, which time they're sleeping, they are working during the morning.
Exactly.
What they are doing, they are always active, they are not sitting checking their monitors and their iPads and more. They are doing something for them, for raising for the children.
Especially the gap between this generation, the old generation, maybe like, let's say, 200 years ago. So maybe their imaginations really can't handle this type of a storyline. And the one of most important, let's say, moments when the children actually get like on the stage and joined Dana Al-Khabbaz and they start to interact with her actually. And also, it's really, we thank Dana because she gave the opportunity and she encouraged the children to share their imagination, to express their thoughts, their imagination, and engage deeply with the stories, as she told them.
Yeah, she's engaging with them, make him come near her on the stage and keep interacting with her, and people laughing, enjoying the time, children interacting with her. And the good thing about children, they are not shy to talk.
Yes.
Some of them, like, they just want to express their feelings, they just want to know.
Especially this new generation.
Yeah, they want to learn, they're always curious, and the world is open for them. And maybe from that age, they are searching in the internet and the Googling.
Yes.
And they keep seeing there's something about our heritage. So imagine when you encourage them to learn about our heritage, then they Google it and they're typing and to learn about our history and they are young. It's good for them to learn when they are young, better than us. Maybe they're learning something more than us.
And actually it's better because they are like being or join the Kuwait International Fairground. It's really great opportunity to encourage them to read more than watch or Google in the internet. We want to encourage the children actually to stay away from technology, from the internet as soon as we can actually, because it's really important to encourage them to read more and more, especially about their country, about their heritage, about how strong the people were back then. So this is the most important.
Most important, even when you are preparing any topics to share to the community, it's not easy.
Yes.
Like I want to arrange my ideas, my topics to share with them. So I like to thank also Dana Al-Khabbaz and people working there and the people who host this kind of event.
Yes.
So that's why I would like to thank them to preparing such a huge content for the children. To prepare this like enormous content, it's not easy, Sarah. Even us here, when we want to prepare any subject, any topic, it will take times to prepare, to think, how to distribute our ideas, how to talk to them, how to interacting with them, and also counting the minutes. We're talking for an hour or maybe 2 hours.
Yes.
It's not easy. That's why the preparation is the keynote for the success.
Exactly, the keynote for the success. That's why, Aziz, it's really hard, or let's say hard, to interact with children, especially for children. That's why we have to thank Dan Al-Khabbaz about that. It's really difficult to, transfer the information, transfer the value, the wisdom into, let's say, children's mind. When we know the events really succeeded, actually, back then in the fairground, the Kuwait International Fairground. And the most important, interesting thing, Aziz, because we're in the morning, as you mentioned. So it's really good to make the children feel more joyful, like away from the school's atmosphere. To make them feel, let's say, happy, make them feel joyful, make them feel, let's say, refreshing while they are going, or let's say, being in the different atmosphere, especially all around them are books. And there is, let's say, a storyteller, which is Dan Al-Khabbaz, tell them a really interesting story.
And also, dear viewers, this is like some certain topics we share to our dear viewers. So now, dear viewers, because this is we call it about the storytelling about Dan Al-Khabbaz, our colleague Abdul Latif already preparing something like different. So let's watch together about our colleague Abdul Latif. They'll be right back here again.
Hello, this is Abdul Latif Al-Anizi, and today I'm going to take you on a journey on a whole new concept, which is traveling back on time. Today we're going to talk about something really interesting, something really tasteful with a beautiful amount of taste, which is the ice cream. A whole new idea that a lot of people have in this ice cream, but they've never thought of when did the ice cream been started exactly. Well, I didn't know about that until this moment. So the ice cream idea at these days, as we see it and have it almost every day, it comes with a bicycle and with a truck. So we buy the ice cream from the ice cream guy. But do you know how it started at the ancient time? Well, it started with the ancient China and of course with the Persia age. At that time, they used to mix the sweet fruit, the sweet milk, comes with an ice, and they mix it together and they have the beautiful flavors and taste of the ice cream. And of course with that, it's the idea has came up, and then it started evolving and evolving with time until at this moment where we can have it with a reduced amount of fat, reduced amount of calories and carbohydrates. And of course, even if you have your kids, they acted good, they had like a good grades at their school and you want to treat them, of course you can treat them with the ice cream. With this segment, it was really remarkable and tasteful. But I will see you for the next time, and goodbye.
In the bustling atmosphere of the Kuwait International Fairground, where the annual book fair was held, a vibrant papercraft workshop organized by the National Council for Culture, Arts and Letters unfolded a world of creativity. Sharifa Izzamami, a passionate instructor, led the workshop with the aim of nurturing children's imaginations through the magic of paper. Amidst the sea of books and eager readers, children gathered around tables, their faces lit up with anticipation. Sharifa guided them through the process of transforming simple sheets of paper into works of art. Folding, coloring, and assembling the pieces became a delightful symphony of creativity. As the workshop progressed, the children seated at the tables adorned with multiple pieces of colorful paper interacted with each other, exchanging ideas and sharing their enthusiasm. Sharifa, with a warm smile, distributed papers to each child, encouraging them to unleash their artistic potential. The room buzzed with the hum of excitement as the children eagerly put their newfound skills to use. It wasn't just the children who were engrossed in the creative process. Parents, too, eagerly anticipated alongside their little ones. The workshop became a delightful bonding experience, a chance for families to come together and explore the joy of crafting. Laughter and chatter filled the air as the room transformed into a hub of artistic expression. By the end of the workshop, the tables were adorned with a wide range of colorful paper masterpieces, each reflecting the unique imagination of its creator. The papercraft workshop not only imparted creative skills, but also became a memorable moment for families gathered at the Kuwait International Fairground, a testament to the power of art to bring people together in joyous celebration.
And we come back again, dear viewers, with Around Kuwait, and with our second, let's say, topic for today. It's also about children, about the craftsmanship and crafting workshop for children.
I told you in the beginning today, like craftsman, it's you consider the first profession and the oldest profession in the world. And today our episode all about our children.
Yes.
That's why, because that's why I would like to thank the producer and the working crew for preparing such an amazing episode about different topics which relates always about the children. In the beginning we'll talk about the storytelling. Now we'll talk about to make them active, to bring them into art. You know, art, it's a universal language, and you do something with your own hands, and he's a kid.
Yes.
He's happy when he sees like handmade, you know, when he creates something new about, he will do some little bit sculpture on handcrafts. When he see the result with his like colleagues, he will see the laugh and enjoyable and also the good atmosphere during this kind of workshops.
You will see, and she will see, the children will see, everyone is really appreciated and happy for them because they made a masterpiece by their own hands.
Yes.
So that's why Sharifa Al-Zmami actually, she did actually this type of workshop for children, and we thank her and appreciate her. Actually, she encouraged our children actually to do their own arts or their own work, away from, let's say, technology, away from iPads, TVs, games, and so on. And you know, Aziz, back when we were children, actually, we did actually some, let's say, paper work when we were in the schools, and we did some drawings, we did some music, we played in the backyard. So we really interact, and we be so active back then. But nowadays the children, they just want to lay down in their couches and they want just to play. That's why we thank Sharifa Al-Zmami in such a great workshop to encourage our children to be more active.
To more active, to be more happier, because you mentioned something very great, Sarah. I'd like to thank you. Now it's the era of technology, like too many distractions, like too many monitors, too many games, everything about the internet, and even people, some children, they like to go to the technology field and the other for to be in a sport field.
Yes.
But to make them gather for the art, now it's like to make them aware more about the imagination thinking.
Yes.
Because art, it makes children to think more. The technology makes them to observe more. But when it comes to the art, to make open their imagination more, what they like to create, how to be creative. Just give them any pencil, maybe they will draw. Just give them any woods, any mud, maybe they want to create something.
Exactly.
Imagine Sharifa Al-Zmami, where her techniques, the way how teaching them to be more patient, to encourage them about what they are doing with their own hands. I remember once before, I want to do like, you know, what you call in Arabic, the Iceman.
Yes.
Like the two balls together to create one Iceman and slice like two needles. So when you can make them like interacting with each other to create maybe butterfly, so it's a good for them.
And make them feel, as you mentioned, more creative. their imagination actually will be more and more, let's say, beautiful, because they imagine the art piece they want to create by this type of, let's say, a piece of let's say, sheets of paper, or let's say whatever, as you mentioned, the pencil, make them draw. So they will think more and be more creative. And you know, they give them some let's say, meditation as well for the children, especially children nowadays with the technology and the games, the PlayStation. They became more violent, you know, and make them feel angry very easily. But with the, let's say, with art and the craftsmanship, and make them do some let's say like art and masterpiece with the papers, with the drawings and so on, make them feel more calm, and give them let's say the sense of the competition, to compete their, you know, their colleague, let's say the other children, their other friends. They want to say, I'm going to be the best workshop, not you, and so on. So it's really amazing.
So you like to encourage them just to compete. When they are competing, they are interacting, it's fun.
Yes.
And I would like to thank Sharifa's mommy, because she gathered all the children together, and they are sitting in the tables, and she preparing with them too many papers, colors, and things, and they are just want to do some handmade handcraft. Maybe they want to create like a small house or small garden or anything about their thoughts, and they are always together. So the first thing, they are teaching them about the teamwork, and with fun, acknowledging them, like even this kind of things, it's already fun. Instead of the monitors or games and technologies, and even staying active, even if you are sitting and you are reading something, you open your imagination, you do something with your own hands, it's also fun.
Yes.
It's also fun if you do something with your own hands, because you will appreciate it, you will value the piece of thing you're already doing by your hands.
Exactly.
This is important.
As I mentioned, actually, that will give you the sense of, let's say, compete the other children, and also they encourage the children to share their ideas, their experience to other friends, actually, and make them share their enthusiasm, turning the tables, let's say, into a colorful papers. In addition, Aziz, like speaking about the craftsman, or let's say the craftsmanship, also the cooking is a part of a craftsmanship. It's not like really craftsmanship, but like doing some, let's say, art, because we know food is art, it's type of art, or cooking is type of art, especially like cooking some cake, making some cake, baking as well. For the children, let's say girls as well, they love to do some coloring, and they do love colors, and the pink and the purple. So it's really great to encourage the girls, encourage the children to do some, let's say, bake more, and also do some craftsmanship.
Remember when the old days they teaching us to draw butterflies and flowers?
Yes.
How was the excitement that time, Sarah?
Well, I was so excited back then. I love the drawing and the music, actually, classes back then, because as we mentioned, we interact with our friends, and we share our laughs, our ideas, and also because we are like drawing, you know, the sun in the corner.
Yes,
I still draw
always
that.
the sun in the corner.
Always the sun, the corner, the clouds, and the trees. And at the end, maybe it's really simple. It's really a simple drawing, but makes you feel very proud of yourself. And at the end of the day, you show the drawing to your friends, to your parents, and say, see, I did really a masterpiece. I can draw. Even the teachers back then, they were really kind. They say, wow, you did really a great job. And this is really a great encouragement.
And we are drawing with the basic colors, yellow and also blue and also red. So we are drawing the sun with the sea, and something like, you know, it's to make it a little bit warm, we put like some red color touches.
Yes.
So imagine that time, and today in the new era of the new generation, we're teaching them how to combine the papers together with the pencils, with the colorful colors, and they are drawing maybe gardens, they're drawing butterflies, drawing flowers. So this is like the basic things, because this kind of drawing and this kind of the artwork makes them open more about their imagination. And imagine they're taking their paperwork and handmade handcrafts, and they're going home to their parents and sharing them about their artwork, and maybe they put it in their rooms.
Yes.
So how was the cheerful and the feeling of their child when he see his artwork it's something wall in his home.
You know, Aziz, just like an idea popped in my mind. We know there's some society here in Kuwait. They do, we call it like the younger engineer.
Okay.
Or let's say
Yes,
they
yes,
do
yes.
some engineers, the younger engineers. They do some, let's say, bridges. They do some houses, in like with the paper. You know, the hard paper. They do some houses and bridges, and they wear the helmet. They wear the engineering helmet, and they will teaching them how to do, let's say, a whole building with the paper. This is a type of engineering and craftsmanship that can really make them feel proud of themselves. They can really increase their imagination in the future. Maybe they want to become, like, let's say, an engineer, an architect, like, let's say, a designer, or maybe a painter in the future by doing this type of workshop.
And even in addition, let's mention something very important. Imagine if you do something with your own hands. So you know the difficulty when you do it by hand, different when you see it by your own eyes.
Yes.
If you want to cut something, now you learn how to shape, how to cut in a perfect way. If you want to maybe try a ruler or maybe like a scissor, right? It's different.
Yes.
If you want to draw something with different kind of colors, different kind of brushes is different. How to be a little bit more contrast or maybe lighter. So it's improved the sense of the child nerves, because when you make them, their eye seeing will be more wider, and when they are feeling their senses about their fingers, how they are holding the pen, and they are holding the colors, and they are holding the papers, and even all the tools around them. So it makes easier for them if you want to do something, to cut something, if to want to maybe to think about something.
Yes.
So to make them more creative, Sarah.
To be more creative. And you know, Aziz, back in the summer, some people, when they go to the beaches, I saw too many children, they play with the sand, with the clay. They make like mix the sand and water.
We will destroy it later.
And we destroy it later on, that's right. But they do some, let's say, shape the houses, they do some ships by the clay, which is mixed with water and sand. It's really lovely to make them play with this type of, let's say, activity. Especially the sand has some materials really good to their skins. It's really amazing to do some swims and then back again to do some, even in the houses, not only the beaches where they go to the beach, even the houses. Some people, they put some table, they sell it everywhere, like table with the sand, and they can play and do every type of shapes by the sand. It's really amazing.
And we are teaching them to be patient, because in the new era of technology, everything is very quickly, is very fast.
Yes.
So we are teaching them to be a little bit patient, to appreciate the efforts when you do something by your own hand. Because we are learning when we are kids to share with each other when we're in the KGs. But when we in the art on this kind of thing, it teaches you to be patient. If you want to do something, you have to do it right. You have to be patient. You have to wait for the perfect time to make it better.
Yes.
If you want to do something, you have to do it perfect. Don't do it like maybe like we say 60%. You have to do it like 1000%.
Yes.
When you be patient, you appreciate the efforts when you do something by your own hands. That's why we have to make them appreciate the values, the things, the simple things around them. So this simple things important for them, for their senses, for their sightseeing, for their eyes, for their nerves, and even to accept it's not easy to do something. You have to always think to appreciate it when they are young.
Exactly, to teach them to be patient, as you mentioned, to make them, let's say, value the time where they are working, and also how to teach them learn or gain the fruits, to gain after their hard work, after doing this masterpiece or the crafting. And Aziz, not only in the workshop the children were participated, even the parents as well. And we need actually to teach also the parents and encourage them. I know the life is really quickly fast, and we have the life pressure on the parents, but it's really a good time to make them relax, to make them feel appreciated, and also to encourage them and teach them craftsmanship, and also to encourage their children.
So that's why you see this all amazing things happening, because of the collaboration between the Kuwait International Fair and the parents and the students and the people already preparing this kind of event. So on behalf of our show Around Kuwait, we would like to thank all the people who contribute for success and to make this event already available for the children, to make them better and better. Now, dear viewers, let's go to this tiny break. They will continue our show Around Kuwait. So let's watch this next report together.
a conference room filled with anticipation as Dr. Abdullah Al-Khanfar, a distinguished expert in family medicine, took the center of the room. The audience, a diverse group of women and mothers, leaned forward in their seats, eager to absorb the insights he was about to share in his lecture on childhood trauma. Dr. Al-Khanfar's commanding presence and gentle demeanor instantly captured everyone's attention. His lecture carefully unraveling the intricate threads that connected childhood trauma to physical health, cognition, and brain development. With a wealth of knowledge, Dr. Al-Khanfar dived into the profound impact that early life experiences can have on individuals' overall well-being. He illustrated how the echoes of childhood trauma reverberate through time, affecting not just mental health, but also leaving an indelible mark on the body. As he spoke, several stories and case studies brought the academic concepts to life. The room echoed with nods of recognition and shared empathy as attendees reflected on their own experiences or those of their children. Dr. Al-Khanfar emphasized the importance of understanding the signs of trauma and creating supportive environments for healing. The lecture became a catalyst for a collective awakening, sparking conversations among the attendees about how they could contribute to fostering resilience in children. Dr. Al-Khanfar's words lingered in the air even after the last slide was presented, leaving the audience with a renewed commitment to nurturing the emotional well-being of the next generation. As the room emptied, the impact of the lecture continued to ripple through the lives of those who had been present, planting seeds of compassion and understanding that would sprout in the days and years to come.
And we came back again, dear viewers, around Kuwait, and now we spoke about the storytelling, about craftsmanship. It's all about children, even the trauma about children. And you know, Aziz, everything that happens when you grow up, maybe even the personality shaped totally because something hidden back in the future, let's say in the past when you were a child, isn't it, Aziz?
Because in addition, we spoke more about the children traumas, you know, even our colleagues, we'll see everywhere. Maybe, you will see people, they are too much angry. Maybe they are afraid of the darkness, of the heights.
Yes.
Maybe they are way more emotional. And I noticed one of the old doctors, I got it from an old information, said the first trauma in your life when you are just being in the world and you are crying.
Yes.
That's why they always said when their child, their age are just days, you have to make them stay in the dark area, not in the light area.
Yes.
Because they are afraid of the light. So imagine when he's young and his age just days. When he's getting older, maybe he is afraid of the bright lights.
Exactly.
Or maybe in the dark light. So these things happening. That's why when mention about this like workshop happened and this we say like lecture with Dr. Abdullah Khanfar. He's a distinguished expert in family medicine. He assumed in the center of the stage to share the parents and the community about the children's trauma, to make the parents and the community understand about children.
Yes.
If they did something, acting is not only about the parents' behavior. Maybe something happened to them to make them afraid or something facing before.
Exactly. It's really a great, let's say, lecture for the parents to make them, they teach them actually how to deal with their children. Maybe those parents experience something when they were a child and they want to, maybe because maybe in unconscious actually, they treat their children what their parents taught them back then. So as you mentioned, Aziz, there's too many phobias. Some people, they're afraid of height, from dark, from the tight, let's say atmosphere, because something happened to them when they were a child. But let's talk about how actually some people deal with other people, or let's say gender, treat other gender like female to male or male to female,
Yes.
especially in the married, let's say, life or the marriage life. Some people, they don't really understand, or maybe they treat their, let's say, their partner the way that their parents, they treat each other, because they saw something in when they were a child that makes them feel shocked. So that's really built up when they grow up, and then they treat their partner or their colleagues, their friends, the way that the parents or maybe their relatives treated each other when he or she were a child.
So you well said, Sarah. You mentioned something very important. That's why we are happy we discuss this kind of interesting topic. Even we spoke in the off-air before. We are very curious. Even us, sometimes when we discover ourselves, we know something. We are aware. Maybe we are afraid of something. You get my point. Sometimes we
Yes.
discover ourselves. That's why Dr. Abdallah Khanfar, he already made this lecture, and the attendees, for the parents, they are there to encourage and aware the families about the importance to containing their child.
Yes.
Make them understand them more, how they are too much active, how they are very angry, maybe they are antisocial, maybe their response are maybe a little bit slow, maybe a little bit fast, maybe they like this type of food, maybe they hate this type of food.
Yes.
How to containing them, to know about their traumas. Even from the insect, people are afraid sometimes. Maybe from the sea, people are afraid. Because something happens in their past. That's why they are awareing their families how to understanding their children.
Yes.
The way their behavior, how they are holding them, how they are containing them, to make them understand this is normal, this is okay, to tell them this is normal when you want to deal with something, this is not allowed to do because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Exactly.
So it's important to aware the children.
To aware the children and aware the parents, and also aware ourselves as a grown-up people. Some people, they really don't know what's happening in their emotional, interact with other people. Let's talk about the trauma. Some people, as I mentioned, they were shocked, like in some situation when they were a child. Some children, they were actually ignored by their parents. Maybe she or he, the child, has a talent, and when she, when we spoke about the craftsmanship, maybe she's actually make her parents saw her, like say, masterpiece,
Yes.
and the parent ignored her talent, ignore the hobby. And then when she grow up, let's say this lady, maybe she become a lady for sure in the future. Everyone, she seems like angry with everyone because she thinks that everyone actually ignored her. So, and then she will misunderstood. She makes everyone, like say, stay away from her. She will have a lack of friends. She cannot deal with their colleague, her manager, and so on in her like job, because she were ignored when she were a child. So that's why this lady or this man, we have actually to know or to aware them. Please, be aware that something happens to you and their child. Please, forgive yourself and treat the other as they treat you, and don't think in your imagination and misunderstood. This is a type of a trauma, Abdulaziz.
So traumas are everywhere. So that's why we always have to containing our children, just to aware them in an academic way, like Mr. Abdallah Khanfar said. So these about the main topics of our today's episode. We spoke everything about children.
Yes.
In the beginning, we spoke about Dana Al-Khabbaz. Did like a workshop for storytelling for the children in the Kuwait International Fairground about the percentage of our country, about our country's heritage, Sarah.
Exactly, and we spoke about the crafting, creativity, how to teach actually the children, how to make them active and do some craftsmanship and do some work by their hands.
And even we spoke about the hands about the other Kuwaiti pioneers, Sharifa Al-Zmami.
Yes.
She already shared how to make people, and especially children, being in the workshop and with the color papers and creating something by their own hands. And at the end, Dr. Abdallah Khanfar had a lecture for the parents to share with them about the importance to understand the children's traumas.
The children's traumas. So everything about the children and childhood. So dear viewers, I hope you enjoyed our episode as much as we did. See you for next time and have a lovely day.
Have a lovely day. See you next time.